This is the Gate of All Nations. Winged Bull. It's the Apadana Palace. Apadana's column. Xerxes once lived here. The Hall of 100 Columns. Treasury Hall. This is the tomb of Artaxerxes III. Of Artaxerxes II. Tomb of Xerxes. The tomb of Darius. Zoroaster Kaaba. The place for the spirits to go up to heaven. Hi, good morning everyone. I'm currently in taxi in Shiraz. Shiraz is the fourth or fifth largest city in Iran, and today I'm going to Persepolis, the ancient ceremonial capital of Persia. So it's about 60 kilometers to the north, and by taxi, because Iran is not so expensive, it's only $4. So let's see what Persepolis looks like. And this is Shiraz passenger terminal, a bus station that will take you to the northern cities of Iran. This is the Quran Gate. It's an ancient gate, even though this building is actually new. We have reached Mavdas. It's a modern city near to Persepolis. Hi everyone, finally I've arrived at Persepolis. Well, it's not Persepolis, it's the entrance of Persepolis. We need to pay ticket first. And I'm here accompanied with my friends and also my friends locals here.
Glad to see you.
Reza and Arman. Okay, so they will be our guide, I guess, yeah, for Persepolis.
Yes.
Right. Okay, thank you. That, my friends, is Persepolis. And as you can see, it's raised on a platform. It's typical Persian architecture for big cities. So it is actually a ceremonial capital of ancient Persia. And to enter, you need to pay ticket 100,000 toman, which is $2. This is really good. So we are now entering Persepolis, and my friend here will explain about the place, and I'll take video of him, and he's okay.
Persepolis was made 2,500 years ago, like 520 BC. 2,500 years ago by Darius the Great and his son Xerxes. You see these stairs, the noblemen who wear wide robe,
Yes,
wide like robes, to walk in an elegant way.
I see. That's why it needs to be like short step.
yeah.
This is the Gate of All Nations, built by Xerxes, the son of Darius. And as you can see, it has two guardians with the body of a cow, I guess, and with a head which already defaced or destroyed. Xerxes was the one who built this gate, and the carving is in three linguals. The carving is there, you can see. This is the people who makes the engravings. 1911, 1912. Can you imagine? 2,500 years ago, people from many nations passed through this gate. That's why it's called the Gate of All Nations. So it's yesterday we actually visited like the Sassanid Palace, which is from 5th century AD. This one is like almost 1,000 years before that, and it's really amazing. And you can see some parts of it are still very much preserved. The pillars over there also, and you can see like the nearby pillar here. It's really cool. This is also another ancient figure. In Persia, it's quite famous. Like before, it was a bull with a face, and this one, it's like a winged bull. So there's a wing here, a bit different than the one in front. This is the wing, and the ancient inscription on top of that. And here, I think you can see the face. Yes, it's the face, but more preserved than the previous one. Like especially this one, you can still see a bit of the nose and the eyes. This, where the pillars are, it's the Apadana Palace. So it's the palace of the king, and with a lot of carvings. For example, this one is looks like a lion hunting its prey. And this part actually is already quite destroyed. They said on the other side it's even better. But here you can see it's like people from all nations sending tributes, providing offerings to the king. So they each have their own unique costumes, traditional clothes. Like this one, I'm not sure where they are from, and this one, maybe you can guess with the hats. And they're led by, I think, like Persian, I guess. And this one is the Persian flower. I told you this one is from the Persian kingdom. Some people say it's lotus, but basically this is the flower of the symbol of Persia. So the carvings, they are accompanied by inscription. I think it's in Akkadian cuneiform, I'm not sure. And again, the lion. Okay, let's go and enter the palace. These are the Apadana's columns, as you can see, the columns here. And more unique to it is actually the capital. Near capital, it's actually, you know, carved with animals, like this one. This is the Apadana Palace. So it's the palace built by King Darius, finished by his son Xerxes. And actually, Xerxes, if you read about his story, he's actually also appeared in many history, like, you know, the movie 300, his invasion of Greece. And also, he's also mentioned in the Hebrew Bible, in the book of Esther. He was the husband of Esther. And this was his palace. Even though the story of Esther is not in Persepolis, because Persia at the time have at least 4 capitals. So it was in Susa, I guess, yes. Susa also in Iran, so we might actually go there and maybe visit Tomb of Daniel in the future, not now. So first, let's just enjoy Persepolis and see how ancient it is. And this is the main building of the palace. So this one, the Apadana Palace, where the king actually welcomed the guests. And there is a tomb there, and this one is the main palace. You can see the door, the gates, they are still right there. You know, the residence of the king, residence of Darius, is called Tachara. And it actually mentioned the main gate just now, which I showed you the door jambs. Actually, it's the carving of Darius and Xerxes themselves. And here below it, you can see some inscription also. And these are definitely the Persian army. You can see with the javelin and the bows. It's very much preserved, and they really guard it well. As you can see, this part, the more preserved one, they actually protect it from the rain. And we go to the next location. Again, inscription everywhere, flowers, the Persian flower. And this one is most interesting for us because it shows the picture of, you know, I think Ahura Mazda. Yes, it's this one. If this one is the palace of Darius, his residence, there's another one. This one is the residence of Xerxes. Looks a bit smaller, and it's called Hadish. Yeah, we don't know what it means, but it's actually written in the description. It's called Hadish. So Xerxes once lived here, and it's quite interesting because you can see some of the relief of there. You see, there is a king under a parasol, so maybe it's him. The information also says that this one, the residence of Xerxes, the Hadish, it also have some traces of the burning by Alexander the Great. So it's confirmed that Alexander the Great actually came to this place and destroyed Persepolis, and they burned the city, some say accidentally, but at least it's confirmed archaeologically. This part is behind the palace, so probably this where, you know, the harem located, kitchen maybe. And on the right here is the museum. If you want to enter, you need to pay another additional 100 Toman, which is $2. This is the northern part of the main palace, the Apadana, and you can see the relief is still very good, and they protect it from the rain. And there you can see the gate, also with the picture with the relief of the gods and the parasol. Now we're entering the Hall of 100 Columns, but first I want to show you the gate. So this one possibly picturing the king defeating a lion. So it's interesting that actually in many parts of the beliefs it's lion hunting its prey, but in the end the lion is killed by the king of Persia. Same with this part. And this is the Hall of the 100 Columns. It's 10 by 10. So there are 100 columns here before. Here with the gate you can see it's a pyramid of classes. So it's a class society, like people actually holding the upper class, even upper class, the nobles, and the king stands mightily there, and the gods. And here on the northeast corner is the treasury hall. So the columns used to be using wooden beams, and that's why nothing's left here. And they kept the treasures, national treasures, gifts from the other nations, tablets, basically treasures here. And as you can see, it's a bit down for security reason. Like in other places, usually you have the water channel, but over here it's nothing. So to keep it safe, so no thieves can come in from the water channel. This one is the fortification. So it's actually this part. It used to be walls with some narrow corridors and a place to keep the weaponries. So what remains is the northern part, which is this one, and on the eastern part, which is around that one. And now we're gonna go and check the tomb.
To the tomb of Artaxerxes the third.
This one, Artaxerxes the third, and the second over there.
Artaxerxes the second.
Now I'm climbing up the northern hill. Persepolis city is right behind me with the fortification, and we're going to the tomb of Artaxerxes the third. And actually over there's also another tomb of Artaxerxes the second. And historians actually dispute whether it's Artaxerxes the second or Artaxerxes the third, which are mentioned in the book of Ezra and Nehemiah. But I think many consider Artaxerxes the second to be the king that actually sent Nehemiah to be the governor of Judea. And let's check. This is the tomb of Artaxerxes the third. So that's probably the picture of him and with the gods. Can you imagine that these big rocks are carved into this tomb 2,400 years ago, where in many parts of the world it's still the Stone Age, not even Bronze Age, and they can already cut these stones like this. This is the mighty empire of Persia, and this was one of the kings and the place where he rested for eternity. Unfortunately, you cannot enter the tomb. And here, the Persian flowers, as I told you, and the fake columns with the capitals showing two animals, probably horses or cows, with the soldiers protecting the tomb, and lions, many lions there lining up, and the soldiers and the people supporting the king and the god. So as you can see, this is the old religion of Persia, the king, and this looks like fire. In Zoroaster they worship fire, and that's the god. Amazing. This is it. This is Persepolis, the capital of the Persian Empire. Okay, so even though it's time to go back to Persepolis and to Naxxirustam, or basically the place of the tomb of Darius the first and Xerxes. I think it's still worth to visit the tomb of Artaxerxes II because it's written in the Bible. So I will go there very quickly and we'll go back. On the way I see this well. It looks like 30 meters deep, maybe 40. Probably it's the source, the water reservoir for the city of Persepolis. It's here, very deep. Yep. Okay, let's continue and go to the tomb of Artaxerxes II. This is it. This is the tomb of Artaxerxes II, the king who lives in the era of Ezra and Nehemiah. As you can see, a lot of the carvings are gone, but at the top you still see 4 similar figures. You know, that one. You can see the king on top with the god, the fire, and I don't know if it's the sun or the moon. So this is it, guys. Artaxerxes II. You can see the people from a lot of different nations are bringing gifts, like this one, buffaloes, and they are led by an Assyrian. You can see the hands, and the gifts are different things, like this one, faces, and maybe spices inside the bowls, and bracelets, and some even actually brought lions, an adult lions, and actually 2 small lions over here, cups. Someone looks like bringing daggers. Very interesting. I heard the Ethiopians bring giraffes, but I haven't seen the giraffe yet in this village.
You should continue from here.
Okay,
But you can take the video.
okay. Look at these lions. Doesn't resemble a lion anymore. Looks like a turtle because it lost its mouth and nose. You can see it should look like this. And in fact, over there, I'm not sure whether it's original one or a replica, but at least it looks like this. Okay, let's find the exit. And last one, I want to show you this. This is the Persian eagle. Looks like a griffin, but they call it Homa. It's an auspicious animal. So as you can see, it's actually a capital in a column, and it's not used. So archaeologists think they are left here by the architects because it's no longer in favor. But you can still see this Persian Homa in Turkey. It's found in Turkey. Near the parking lot, you can see the model of Persepolis and some restaurant, bookstore, souvenir shops. So let's go to the next place and let's look for the tomb of Xerxes and Darius. Now we are leaving Persepolis and we are going to the next place. There is Naxi Rajab, Naxi Rajab first, and then Naxi Rustam. There are some tombs carved on a cliff. I have arrived at Naxi Rajab. So it's actually not a tomb, but it's a belief. It's a picture of the king, the founder of the Sassanid dynasty, King Ardashir, receiving a ring from god Ahura Mazda. On the left is the king Ardashir, and on the right is god Ahura Mazda giving the ring. So that's it. Let's go to the next place. We are going to the tomb of Darius the Great and Xerxes. We have arrived at Naxi Rustam. It means the image of Rustam. Rustam is actually a mythical hero from the Shahnameh of Ferdowsi. So it's a mythical figure. But actually they were wrong because this one is not the image of Rustam, but the image of Darius and Xerxes and the Persian king, the ancient Persians. So that's what happened after like 1,000 years. People forget what this place is about and they create legend and myths. And now to enter you need to pay another 100,000 taman, about $2. Actually you can just see from outside. But for you, I'll pay the ticket so we can see closer. Let's go. I just asked, and they confirmed that this one is the tomb of Xerxes. This one is of Darius the First. This one is of Artaxerxes, and this one is Darius the Second. So the first emperor is Cyrus the Great, but he's not here. And then there is, I think, Cambyses for a few months or something, and next is Darius and Xerxes. So this is the tombs of the two people who failed to invade Greece. Darius failed, Xerxes failed. If you watch the movie 300, it's about this guy, Xerxes. The tomb of Xerxes, and currently it's undergoing conservation and restoration work. The tomb of Xerxes. So he was interred here by the side of his father's tomb, which is over there. And they say the design is very similar to the design of Darius' tomb. So even though we cannot see the design here clearly, later we can see the part in Darius' tomb. And the main difference is here there is no inscription. And the inscription is only in Darius' tomb. And besides the Persian tombs, there is also this. This one is a blank space from the Sassanid period. So they actually want to draw something, but it's not. And later there is a 19th century Persian inscription carved by the local Qajar governor, which is, I think it's this one. It's called the Investiture of Nars, 294 to 302 AD. It's the king Nars, granted the ring by a goddess, basically symbolizing him receiving the crown. The next one here is the tomb of Darius the Great, Darius I. And as you can see, it's very mighty, magnificent. So here actually it pictures the king. I will, yep, there it's the king Darius, and Ahura Mazda and fire altar. And there it bears inscription in 3 languages describing about the king, his biography, and his vision of an ideal king. And they are supported on a throne by 30 people representing the 30 provinces of his empire, each with different set of clothing. And then this one is basically his tomb. And below, this is actually not from the Persian period, the ancient Persian, but it's from the Sassanid. It's depicting the victory of Bahram II. So the Sassanids, they believe themselves as the successors of the Persian, ancient Persian, and that's why they make a lot of beliefs here. The next one is the triumph belief of Shapur I, 239 to 270 CE. And unfortunately the scaffoldings block the view, but you can still see the king Shapur. By the way, this is a very famous belief because it shows Shapur, or the Iranian king, towering over 2 Roman emperors. The standing one is Valerian, and then the one bowing down there is Philip the Arab. So it's the victory of Persia over Romans. As you can see, not only because of the person bowing, but also like the hand of Shapur is actually grabbing the hand of Valerian, symbolizing the defeat of the Romans. Very interesting. And the next one is also another tomb of the Persian emperor. This one is Artaxerxes the First, the son or the successor of Xerxes. This is the Zoroaster Kaaba, or actually it's wrong because it's actually a Persian tower. This is the tower, and I heard at its base there is an inscription. I think it's this one. I thought it would be a larger one, but it looks small. But I heard this one actually inscription in 3 languages, one in Greek, one in Persian, and I forget the other one, by Shapur the First. telling about his victory over the Romans. That's it, guys. This is the necropolis. And goodbye, Xerxes, the famous Xerxes, the husband of Esther, Queen Esther. Maybe Esther is also buried in that chamber. And behind the tombs here, we have two fire altars. Because remember, the people here used to worship fire in the Zoroastrian religion. But now, no more fire. Guys, this is bonus footage. So, actually behind the tombs of the kings, there are tombs of the common people from the ancient Persian period. And it's this one, I'll show you. So, in the Zoroastrian religion, usually they left the bodies to decay, eaten by vultures, and they put the bones here inside. And this place is especially spiritual because they believe like this hole here, not exactly a hole but a crack on the cliff. If you are standing there, they said you can actually see the top. There is a hole, so it's actually the place for the spirits to go up to heaven. Yep, see, many more holes, and actually along that cliff also there are a few holes. Amazing. And there we have a cave, but I heard this is just a normal cave, but it's okay, just let's take a look for a few seconds. Okay, so it's not exactly a cave, but there are stairs here. And yeah, probably people from ancient times been here for a long time. Yep. Okay, just a small crack. And let the moon welcomes you. Okay, that's it. So that's all for today. See you in the next video. Bye bye.
Ikuti terus Bang Jago. Sampai jumpa.